Okay.
Thanks, Chris. All right. I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting of Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. It is 1:01 p.m. and we are live on a digital platform. Present, we have a rather small complement of council members today. Here from City Council are myself, Liz Mealy, as well as Bonnie Katz. The other two members of the Finance Committee could not attend today. Let me call the rest of the roll right now, and then we'll get to the agenda. Right. Let me see here. I've got Valerie Fessler, Melanie Shutt from the Community Development Office, Kevin Mackey from the Treasurer's Office, Peg Woodring from the Controller's Office, Donna Fuller from the Human Resources Office, and over here from Streets and Parks, Mr. Akey. All right. Let me see here. And we have, pardon me, guys, I'm working off my phone, so I'm not seeing things all that well here. We have 5 items on today's agenda. But we're going to postpone handling the budget report, item number 1, until the next Finance Committee meeting when the other members of the committee will be able to join us. So that means we have 3 action items on today's agenda, so to speak. Item number 2 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2025 Ford cab truck and a 2026 Ford Explorer. Want to take that off here, Jake?
Yeah, that's for us here at Streets and Parks.
Yep.
We started capital projects. We'll be coming out of liquid fuels. One of them's for our foreman truck that's up for renewal, and the Explorer is up for a small truck that for renewal. Just we're going by years and mileage, just trying to update our fleet so things aren't nickel and diming us.
Yep. And so these 2 items are both being funded out of liquid fuels, correct?
Yes, there'll be a total of $110,374.66.
Got it. Do you happen to know if these are from sort of our excess liquid fuels funding, or if these are from our 25 liquid fuels funding, that is to say, like budgeted as part of our annual liquid fuels allocation?
Yeah, these are budgets out of our capital projects from last year.
Okay.
So they were in the lineup to get for this year. But we
Okay.
started to budget them last year for it.
All right. Got it. Sounds good. And you say these are just, I mean, obviously we support replacing vehicles, especially when they get to the point where they're becoming untrustworthy or, where they require more maintenance than is really worthwhile. Which vehicles in our fleet are these going to replace?
This one is going, the F-350 is going to be a new foreman's truck.
Okay.
It's just old, wore out, the truck that he has now. So that will be replacing his truck. And the Explorer will be replacing a Ford Ranger that we have. That is like our, it was our dispatch truck, but Livermore is going to take it for himself to, so if anybody has to, like, we'll have like we need a vehicle for like going to seminars, any kind of training. He'd have a vehicle that we can give instead of taking multiple vehicles. We'll have this one SUV that can take multiple people at the same time.
Got it. So you're saying the Ranger is going to be decommissioned from regular service to become
That's
basically
going to
a
be,
transport
that'll
truck
be,
for trainings?
no, we'll be selling that one once we get.
Okay. So the Explorer is going to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. And what was the year on the Ranger that we're getting rid of?
2008, I think it is.
Okay. Got it. And when are these trucks expected to come online?
I think they got the F-350 there already. It's already
Got
there.
it.
So we just have to wait for the approval and everything. And I'd say probably by end of next month or we should have them.
Oh, okay. There was a period there a couple of years ago when we were ordering things and it was going to be like 2-3 years till they came in just because of lag times in production, but
Yeah,
These are ready to rock, huh?
yeah, we found a new, well, the same people we've been going through with Stuckey. They're able to get things at a reasonable time now.
Okay. Well, I
So,
think that's probably just supply chain stuff getting better, but just yeah, just wondering. Hey, Bonnie, do you have any questions on this?
No, everything looks, fine. And Stuckey, where's this company coming out of?
Hollidaysburg out towards Altoona.
Okay,
And then we get our stuff outfitted at Maxwell, which is right in State College.
okay.
So
Is there much to be outfitted with these vehicles?
the truck is going to be outfitted with a utility box.
Okay,
So I have the doors and stuff so they can put tools in and everything. So they don't have to keep them in the bed of the truck.
and is this part of the 110,000?
Yes.
Everything is liquid fuels.
Yep.
So that's not an extra cost that you're going to be coming back with.
Nope. Everything is already budgeted. Well, not budgeted, but quoted in on this price right here.
Okay, and you said you're selling the vehicles that are no longer in use. So
Yeah, we'll be switching them out, then selling them soon after we get these ones, because we have to take some radios and stuff out of them to put into the new ones, and then we'll sell them when they're done, when we get everything switched out.
okay, and you're selling them through.
Municipal.
Okay, I wondered if you're still doing that. Okay.
Yeah, right now he's got a couple on there. He hasn't tried to flood the market with too many vehicles. So he has like, I think he has 2 or 3 on there right now. And then when they get sold, then he'll put another 1 or 2 on there.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. That's all I have, Liz.
Great, Bonnie, thanks. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Remind me, and you may not know this, I can ask Jamie on Thursday, but the whatever proceeds we get from vehicles that we sell in municipal just go back into the general fund budget, correct? They
I'm
don't
not
return to
100%
streets
sure.
and
Yeah, because
parks.
I think it goes back into, unless it was used with like liquid fuels, I think it goes back into liquid fuels. Anything that's
So
liquid fuels goes back into liquid fuels that if we sell
got
it.
it. Okay, but it goes into the city's liquid fuels allocation, like into our,
Yes.
okay, it doesn't go back to the state or something. It goes
No, it
into
comes
the
back
city's
to us.
allocation. Okay. Good. Maybe that explains why we seem to have a whole bunch of extra money in liquid fuels. Great.
Actually,
Okay.
Liz, that might be the interest revenue I got for you guys.
Yeah. What's that, Kevin?
I said that might be the interest revenue I got for you guys too this year.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right, here, pardon me. All right, Kevin, hold on. Let me keep moving down the agenda here, but all right. Item number 3, a resolution authorizing the filing of a multimodal transportation fund grant through the Commonwealth. Melanie?
Hi, good afternoon. This resolution is to file an application for the multimodal transportation grant through CFA. This is for up to $300,000 for the Williamsport 4th Street Ballards project. These are retractable ballards that will be used for events such as First Friday and like the Williamsport Welcomes the World and those types of large public events, rather than bringing in the temporary ones that have to be moved in and out.
Got it. Just as a question, when we first started having this whole discussion about needing water barriers at all the First Friday events and other events where we're closing off 4th Street downtown, I started looking, I thought, hey, we should apply for a retractable bollards grant. So I'm excited that we are. But in looking into it, I came up with a whole bunch of information online from various municipalities saying that retractable bollards do not hold up.
Okay.
And that they are plagued with a lot of issues related to water getting into the cavities and causing mechanical malfunctions. Are we certain that this, I fully support, just to be clear, I fully support applying for a grant for something that becomes a more permanent, and easier to implement street closure device for downtown, because we know we close those several blocks of 4th Street frequently. So I think that it is something we should look into. Are we sure that retractable bollards is the solution though?
That's something I can follow up with. I was working on this project with Scott Livermore, just to follow up with where he got the quote from, and if they can provide any information on the longevity and if there's any kind of issues.
Yeah, I think I'd be interested to hear that for Thursday, Melanie, if you guys could look
Okay.
into it.
Absolutely.
I just, because that was just the first thought that came into my mind. I've been a whole bunch of places with street bollards and, and then the more I looked into it, and honestly, most of this was on Reddit, so there may or may not be a lot of value to it, but it seemed as though people were having a lot of problems with them and not that long after install. My fear is always for the city that it's terrific if we can get a grant to implement something, but if it fails 5 or 8 years down the road and costs us $100,000 to repair, then we're not really further ahead than we were. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't an option that might be maybe a hybrid, maybe not a retractable bollard sort of thing, but something where you fix something into the pavement that you could then attach bollards to. Anyway, something, some sort of middle ground. I can do a bit more research too.
Sure.
That might cost us less money in the long run than something we'd have to repair.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Has anybody
Yeah.
asked the county about their ballards that are in their one area? Because that they've been there for years, but I don't see them taking them out that often.
Right.
But I would like to know, God, we've been downtown and they've been there since we've been downtown, and that's how many years. And I don't know if they've had this kind of a problem.
Well, so they are retractable, Bonnie?
That I don't know. When you said that now, I don't know if they're retractable.
Yeah, because so the issue with us is these are things that would mostly be sitting in the ground under
Right.
West 4th Street. And then we would put them up for, 6 hours a month or something like that during First Friday. But I think that would certainly be a direction to go. If the county has retractable bollards that have functioned well for decades, then we should buy those.
I would like to know which ones they were. I kind of researched that also, and I know what you're talking about, Liz. Yeah,
Okay.
I know the ones that we're looking at do have a lid. They shut down and seal, and there had to be a key to unlock it. Then you open them up and pull them out. I don't know if there's a rubber seal that keeps things from getting down in there, but I know the ones that we're looking at does have a lid on it.
Okay. I guess I just think it seemed, like I said, I did maybe an hour's worth of research in the middle of the night, one night on my phone, so I am not an expert on this topic. But what I was reading was enough to make me think that maybe there was some sort of hybrid solution that we should look at instead. Something that maybe wasn't retractable, but was still something we brought in, but at least it was quicker to set up and easier to set up than the water barriers, something like that. I just want to see us do the research up front so that we're not trying to figure out how to fund a replacement for it down the road. Because it will probably be pretty easy for us to get. Hopefully, it will be somewhat simple for us to get an initial grant, but it would be hard for us to maintain it. That said, like I said, I think there are a number of pedestrian safety issues we need to tackle in town, and this is clearly one of them. But I hope that we can work together to do some grant applications for a handful of things that really need to be tackled here. Speaking of which, Melanie, are we working on any grants toward, pardon me, are we working on any grants toward like crosswalks or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have
I was hearing a
Safe Streets
rumor,
for
but I
All.
hadn't seen anything.
We have our Safe Streets for All grant, which is
Okay.
a planning grant. So that is going to help set us up to get those grants for those types of pedestrian safety.
Good. Are we looking specifically with that planning grant at Maynard Street and Market Street?
Yes.
Okay, good. I feel like we could use about 6 different crosswalks on Market all the way up. And Maynard too is a major issue already. Okay, excellent. Bonnie, do you have any other questions on this item?
No, like you said, Liz, I think we would like to have more information. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd like to understand it a little better, and I'll try and do some research before Thursday too, so that I'm coming with a little bit more information myself. If I find anything that seems like maybe a better solution than a retractable bollard.
right.
Um, and then Melanie, does this grant have a match?
No, it does not.
Okay, so this would be if we received the funding, $300,000, which is what we anticipate being sufficient to fund the entire project,
Yes.
right? Okay, all right. Excellent. Well, that would be super exciting if that were to happen. All right. Moving on then to our final quote unquote action item on the agenda. Item number 4, authorizing the execution of an agreement between the city and ESI Employee Assistance Group. Ms. Fuller?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yes, ESI.
You don't need to tell Bonnie and I about that. We both have big problems with that.
Where's my button? couldn't
I do
see.
a whole lot of talking and then nobody's answering, so then I see that I was muted the whole time.
Well, thank you for having me today. This is the first thing that I'm bringing to you. It is for a employee assistance program. The city currently has no provider that provides this kind of service to all employees and residents of the employees' homes. This is a no cost to the employee. It's $25 a year, but it adds a lot of value to working for the city. It actually over the course of a year would more or less pay for itself by reducing some of the expense that we incur with our health insurance. Right now, our mental health in the city is for last year from the insurance review, 27% of our employees, not including their spouses or dependents, have used mental health services through our health insurance over the course of last year. If it breaks it down further to 29% were employees, 44% were spouses, and 15% were dependents. This service provides us an avenue where our members could have 3 free counseling sessions. They do work with our health insurance, so they would automatically roll over into the Highmark system. It would reduce some of our health insurance costs, but the benefits to the employee is really there for a minimal amount. Like I said, our health insurance would be reduced. The straight cost of just our mental health last year on our health insurance was $18,945. That was just for the basic things that ESI is offering for the 4,000. After that, it gets better and better. They also work with first responders. I've had the police department and fire department ask for specific programs geared towards them. This is all included in that $4,000. So we won't have departments running off getting their own mental health providers. It can all be funneled through the ESI system and rolled right into our health insurance. We're removing it from other complications. This service also offers free online training for everything from Excel to management concepts and programs and things of that nature. Some business courses that I see are needed. One of them is budgeting and processes of that nature. It also gives the city an opportunity to shore up on some of our disciplinary actions by allowing us to do administrative referrals at no additional cost. And what an administrative referral is when you have an employee like we had We'll use this gentleman as an example. A long-term employee did something really unprofessional outside of work. It was investigated and discipline was arranged. And if it wasn't accepted with negotiating with the union, they could have came back and said, we don't want to do this. There would have been an ability to counter offer that the gentleman passes his job, keeps his job, if he can pass a mental evaluation and goes through the system and processes to ensure that he's mentally stable. All of this comes through an EAP. What else can I tell you about it? Personal support. So back to who these people covered. First off, they cover all the employees and anyone who lives in their house. So that could be a little bit or a lot. They all receive 3 free counseling sessions per issue that they have. So what that means is I could call because I'm depressed and I'd get to talk to a counselor for 3 sessions. I go a month or 2 and, I'm not depressed anymore. I'm now concerned about something else. I get 3 free sessions on that issue. So you can see how it can add up and save us dollars in the end. There's also personal support that I was touching on, and that's everything from free legal forms like wills and things of that nature to a free consultation with attorneys for your behalf or your question. Maybe you're wondering the parameters of divorce and you want to ask somebody, but you don't want to ask a friend or anyone here in the city. You can call the EAP up, and they'll put you in contact with an attorney of your choice wherever you want that attorney to come from. Let's see, what else does it do? Free wills, attorneys. They give you services so you can talk about the things that hit us in life, like aging parents. You're looking at your parents and you have to put them in a nursing home. You can call up the EAP and they'll run reports for you so you can make informed decisions about what is the best nursing home in the area that you're looking for based on your religion and your expectations of life and that stuff. If you had a parent die, sometimes those are very traumatic situations outside of work that affect the worker. EAP, you can call them up and they will help you walk through the processes of handling somebody that's close to you, their death, and the legal things and things you have to jump through to get those things closed out. They also have retirement planning, and the list goes on and on. It's a lot of services for a little bit of money. And I think it would be a benefit to the employees, and I think it would be cost savings to the city, because it'd save all those things. And we are seeing an increase in mental health usage year after year here at the city. So it's trying to contain some cost.
I have a question for you. This is Bonnie. It says $25 per employee. What if an employee doesn't want to join this? Is this everybody has to do this? How are you going to deal with it?
Yeah, this is a service that's provided to everyone. They don't have to use it, but it's there for their choice. And this is the other side of it. They never tell the city who is using the services. They send monthly and quarterly reports to say how many services have been used and what those services were for, but it is very confidential. There's no way that I could go to them and say, tell me who used your services. They wouldn't do that unless I gave them an administrative referral. That is the only time I'm allowed to understand who is using, but I do get monthly reports on how many times the services have been used and what services have been used.
Okay. And it also, ESI the sum of $4,000 annually.
Yes,
It's this, does the grant cover this, or is this a matching?
this isn't a grant.
This is out of pocket, Bonnie.
This is an out-of-pocket expense
Oh, okay, all
that,
right.
that I checked with
Okay,
Jamie. She
misunderstood.
said it would be absorbed in the individual departments.
Idea is, this sounds to me like an excellent idea. Is there a way that we can track its impact on our healthcare spending?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen the annual reviews,
Mhm.
but
Uh,
there's,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What was that?
our annual reviews, like, I know exactly how much we spent on mental health, right? I know
Mhm.
exactly how much we spent on diabetes and those kind of things. And this program here gives people the support they need to be able to make better choices in their life. Like, I know we had what they call it, the Chub Club, where Rose came in and taught people how to eat better. These are online courses that can do the same things for employees. So I'm hoping that kind of digs into those things as well, because we do have some issues that could be corrected with modified behavior if people choose to change, which is really big to ask people. But it would help on our health insurance payment. But yeah, we most definitely could get a key metric on mental health profile.
Got it. Yeah, I think that this sounds to me like a good idea and a relatively low cost offering to our employees. But I am concerned with us having a metric by which to establish if we are saving ourselves money in the long run by utilizing this service, or at least breaking even. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
reduced the number of therapist visits being claimed under our insurance because and then secondarily, Donna, this is somewhat off topic, but relevant. I know that we had discussed taking our health insurance out for bid again, just making sure that Benecon is still the best fit for us. And I know that not all health insurance functions as Benecon does. That is to say, where we're self-funding a portion of the claims.
yes.
Right. So does the benefit of this program change if we select a new healthcare provider moving forward? I guess is part of the question to me.
Yeah,
Or
and to me, it wouldn't change. It continues to be a benefit, because of the mass connections that this company has. That's why I chose it over the other companies that I went out for bid. And this wasn't the least expensive, and it wasn't the most expensive. This was the middle of the road. A lot of manufacturers in our area, and even RVT uses this company. The other thing I can tell you is last year we had 142 members have a mental health condition, and that was an increase of 8.4% from the prior year. So I can see our mental health costs just climbing year after year as people become more stressed out with everything in the world today. And they need somebody to talk to so they don't turn to the things they shouldn't be turning to, and hopefully they get the help they need.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. Is there any way that for Thursday you could ask if um a testimonial from RVT could be part of the package on Thursday night
I
for the
certainly,
full body of council? Okay. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be RVT, but that one clearly is close to home. So
yeah,
that would be probably carry some extra weight, but anybody who might be willing to, either give us a reference, or in the case of RVT, possibly even have somebody, on Zoom to talk about their experience with this company. I think that might be useful. I
yeah,
suspect, I think that this sounds like a positive step for us. And my hope, of course, is that not only is it good for the health and well-being of our employees, but also it winds up saving us some money on health insurance. But I think you may find that some of our some folks on council, when we're already looking at a budget deficit this year, are hard pressed to understand why we should lay out additional funds. So if we could speak to somebody who would utilize this program and see its effectiveness, I think that would be useful.
Cool, I will. And also it will help reduce our liability
Okay.
on disciplinary and some other things that are going on around here. It's one more thing that you provide your employees. So
Got it. Okay. So all right. So yeah, I think just as kind of a looking toward Thursday thing, my guess is that there are going to be questions about, right, ways in which this will help reduce city costs, help improve morale, things like that. They're going to want to understand that, I think, relatively fully. It sounds to me, like it's likely to be a good program. I am still trying to understand a little bit, and I can do some independent research on this company as well, but trying to understand a little bit what it will look like for employees to take advantage of this, and whether, I guess you can possibly answer this for me. Is there a limited number of sessions / calls per employee? Is this an unlimited resource regardless? I mean, I saw that trauma visits cost us additional funds after the first one. So there's, and I'm assuming we're not planning to build in anything over and above this $4,000. So we're not planning to use that trauma visit resource.
right. I mean, and
Okay.
that would be like if that kind of trauma is like if and God forbid somebody comes in and blows away half the city, right?
Right.
Of coworkers and things like that. They would send in trauma units, kind of like they do for high schools when a student
Yep.
passes, to deal with that kind of tragedy. The majority of the workers here at the city, they fall under the first responder, and that has a whole different set of mental health experts that kind of handle those kind of traumas, and it's not a extra charge or fee or anything of that nature.
Got it.
Like I said, the services are unlimited. You can take as many classes
Okay.
as you like. What is limited, however, is the counseling sessions are open to the first 3 counseling sessions. And then after that, it rolls over into the health insurance. So it basically takes 3 of these meetings and gives it to the city for free.
Got it. And then it rolls over, like they charge our health insurance. You continue with this program, or you're rolled
Well,
over to a therapist?
You continue with your therapist because they accept the Highmark healthcare plan. So to the
With the
goes
therapist provided through ESI.
yes.
Okay. So there are a handful of ways for this to add cost for the city, one of which would be rolling over into our health care plan through extended numbers of counseling sessions.
Yes, but we already pay for those.
I understand. Yeah, it's already included, right? Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand the ins and outs of it. Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if we offer this, are we going to get more people using the services? There's a possibility, or there is a possibility of those services being utilized, being cleaned up within 3 sessions.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it could go either way. I'm just asking sort of, I'm trying to wrap my head around the totality of the program and how it's going to function for our employees.
No, I'm not taking offense or any craziness at all. No pun intended.
Yeah. Also true. I think I'm gonna, now that you've given us so much information, and I appreciate you haven't done your research into this, Donna. Now that you've given us so much information, I think about it a little further and see what other questions come up between now and Thursday. But
So,
like I would, if you could have someone either provide us with a reference, or perhaps have someone from RBT who just sits in briefly to give us a reference on Thursday, that would be awesome. I think that would probably help the other members of council understand a little bit better what it looks like when you implement this program.
Okay,
know.
and also the ESI representative, he would be more than happy to answer any of the questions.
I
anyone
think
might
he
have.
would also be an excellent person to have present on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, and he can be present online, right? Because they're,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, he does not need to be physically there.
okay, I will see what I can do for those two things. I'm sure they have references and they'll be more than happy to get them out. And they are a very well-known, very well-utilized company for these services.
Awesome. Okay, Bonnie, did you have any further comments?
The only question I have is, we all have our primary physician, but say you're looking for, if you have a mental health problem, would they supply you with a list of therapists? Or do you have to go through your primary care?
I am going to answer yes to all of the above. They're very cooperative. So say you went to your primary care physician, he says, hey, I want you to go see a specialist. Here are a few names. You can take those few names to ESI and see if they match up. If they are part of Highmark, then chances are they will be matching up within their services.
Okay,
And
that's
the
what I
providers.
know.
Yeah, yeah, that was the other reason I chose this company, because they said they matched up with our Highmark providers.
Okay, okay, thank you. And like Liz said, I'm sure there's going to be other questions come Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
part of the point of committee meetings, is for us to start asking you these questions early so that we're a little better prepared for Thursday.
is
That
there
we jump
any-
on you with 2 feet.
That's okay. So I will try to have a metric that can be tracked.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably, a reference would be valuable, especially a reference that if anyone were able to speak to not only an increased quality of care for employees, but also savings on the healthcare side. And someone from the company should probably be there to answer questions. I just know, we've had a lot of discussion over the course of the last 6 months about the budget deficit we're going to be in this year. And I think you're going to hit, some objections with council members who are trying to make sure we don't authorize any additional spending. So I think if we can prove that this is a benefit, but also likely to result in some savings, that will be better received. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, the final item on our agenda is any related items. Does anyone have anything else to introduce for the good of the order?
Liz, I actually got a few things here, if you don't mind me just speaking up for a little bit here.
Not at all, Kevin. Lead it off.
So I'm just gonna do a follow-up on what I spoke about a month ago. The county, to my knowledge and to Scott Williams' knowledge, has still not reached out to us about doing a residential LRTA. I just wanted to make council aware of that. I'm still trying to get a meeting with them every time that Scott pesters them for the comments on the current LRTAs we have. I asked them if they're ever willing to discuss a LRTA, residential LRTA renewal. I never get a response from them. That's the first item. The second item, I'm just going to run through these quickly, is my office will be doing a business privilege / tax seminar at some point in September. I will have more information for that. That's going to go out to a bunch of the accountants and all local businesses. If they want any help, we'll be doing that at that point. And there was a third one, but can't remember right now. So I'll just let that one go for now.
So take me back real quick, Kevin. I apologize.
I did it quickly. I apologize.
Yeah, well, no. So the issue with the county and not getting any response.
So about a month ago, I discussed how the county had not reviewed the residential LRTA with the city and then made a decision on it that also caused the school LRTA to lapse as well.
Right.
So currently the city is the only one doing a residential LRTA within our jurisdiction. Now, the county had made some comments to me, not necessarily publicly, that they felt it was unfair that the city was getting a residential LRTA while no other jurisdiction in the county was. And when our taxes are at 40+ mils and the next one in the area is up 35 mils, I'd say we're already at an unfair disadvantage. So I just keep pestering them to try and get them to discuss a residential area with us. So
Right.
if anyone on council also wants to, throw a few emails in their inbox, or anybody from the public wants to ask about that, why we're not investing in our future, I just want to throw that out there so people have the ability and the knowledge that it's out there.
Understood. So personally, Kevin, I would like to see us at the city level have a more robust discussion of LERTA and its benefits. I can't tell you the number of developers I've gotten blowback about LERTA from people who basically said, hey, I took advantage of it because it was there, but I was going to build what I was going to build anyway.
Yes, but that then turns into more tax returns for us with business privilege and their investments back into that property as well.
Right.
and
I
if we're-
understand that theoretically.
If we're able to
Practically.
if we're able to create a stickiness situation with the people that are living in these households, even if it is for a shortened period of time, 10-year LERTA or otherwise, they build connections in our communities. They stay around for longer. It goes back to how Derek is trying to build a home in Williamsport through his parks programs. It's about creating a sense of, hey, this is where I want to live for the rest of my life.
I agree. I'm not sure that tax abatement is necessarily the best vehicle for that. I don't think it hurts. How many people have we had while the residential LERTA was active? How many people took advantage of it?
When Scott came in, I think I've seen more come across my desk this year than my entire past 3 years.
Okay,
So
and that's
people are taking advantage. I don't have an exact number right now, but I can tell you I've at least seen probably 6 to 12 of them come through this year.
okay. I mean, that's a decent number. Could you send us some details on this?
Yeah,
The scope of the work, et cetera, et cetera.
Scott and I are working on something for that we can bring to your guys' attention. Again, the root thing is right now is that we're at 42 mills for property taxes. When people are looking at where they want to be and they're looking at the city of Williamsport versus next door, they're seeing villages that are half next door
Right.
than what's here. So for us to have a competitive advantage, that's why that LERTA is here, is to give us the ability to have that in there. Otherwise, we end up with houses that have nobody in them, or are to a certain point why the redevelopment authority is going through and doing its work right now, where these houses aren't cared for, and in 10, 20 years time, they have property owners that don't care whether or not the government takes it. It's not worth it. So that's why having that LERTA allows for newer folks and younger generations to have the chance to come in and live in the city of Williamsport versus the neighboring jurisdictions.
Right. I guess I think that we need to have a more robust discussion about various and sundry carrots that we can use partnered with the stick of the redevelopment authority.
Yep, and they're working on that.
Because yeah, I think I think that LERTA is relatively easy, low-hanging fruit, although apparently under the county's current administration, it may not be as easy as it once was. Like it's easy to enact. If it doesn't do anybody any good, it's not a whole lot of, it's not difficult for us to put together. So whatever, might as well do it. But I think there probably are better programs that could make people feel more welcomed by the city than that, that would yield bigger benefits for us. And maybe, yeah, I know that I can, that it can be hard to get a bunch of us together and that I'm part of that problem. But maybe if, I think if we had to sit down with maybe you and community development and Melanie in the grants department, and kind of talked about the existing funding we've got in community development, the money that had come back into our home program, and some other things that we might be able to bring to the table, we might be able to construct something that was a little more interesting, and maybe yeah, would provide a little bit more bang for our buck. That's not to say that I wouldn't like the county to participate, Kevin, but I don't know. We unfortunately can only do so much to influence that.
I'm aware of that.
And
this is why
equally, unfortunately, I think you'll find the current county administration a lot less likely to be friendly to that idea than the past one.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm experiencing that on multiple fronts. I'm working on a few other
Right.
issues that if you guys want to discuss, I can discuss in private.
Yep. Yeah, and
but,
I would be down with that, right? But yeah, I think I'm not sure this is the hill we want to die on, but
You
but
guys don't have to do it. I'm just making sure the public is aware that the county is not willing to assist us in this.
got it. Okay, well, why don't we yeah, have maybe a little bit more discussion moving forward, see where the rest of, maybe at the council meeting on Thursday, we can talk about where the rest of council falls on this and if they want to push on it or if they want to let it drop for right now. But thank you for bringing it to my attention. And then per your other item, I think we've,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
the other item was just a small announcement. I'm going to be putting in a more formal one in the future. Nick Grimes and I will be doing a small business tax seminar related to the city's local taxes for any businesses that are interested. We'll be holding it in the RVT building next door from my office where, council holds their stuff, hopefully make it relatively easy. And we'll be working on trying to establish some parking for people if they want to come down as well. Just to give people an idea of what we're looking for the business taxes and filings. Again, I'm going to come out with a more formal announcement, but it's just something that people can have on their radar if they're listening in now.
I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, I think we certainly need to cast a wider net than the finance committee meeting, probably.
Oh yeah, I'm working on a few different things. I just got to get the word out, and if I got to go on a committee or two to talk about it, and then do a few other things, and it's just one more thing in my day.
Sounds great. Okay, all right. Is that everything from you then at the moment, Kevin?
Currently, yeah, I'll discuss the other thing privately.
All right, sounds good. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to introduce for the good of the order? Melanie and Valerie, to the extent that you guys are still here, I would, I think, appreciate maybe a sit down to look at what grants we have in the pipeline, what applications we have out there, and or what funding we have in the city that we might be able to use to construct some quality of life programs. I know that there's not much, but I also know that there's a little bit of something out there. So maybe we can chat about that briefly on Thursday if you guys are present too.
Yeah, we're certainly open to that. I apologize, Liz. I had to jump off to get to another meeting and just jumped on
that's
in
just
the middle
fine. Nope.
of the Florida conversation. I guess I'm confused. I didn't realize Florida was going to be a topic today, and that's a program that falls to our department that we're working with the mayor, Jason Fink, starting to begin conversations with the commissioners and making some changes to the ordinances. So I guess I missed the beginning of the conversation, but I guess I'm just a little bit confused about why our department isn't part of the conversation. So perhaps we can loop back to that.
Sounds like we should have a meeting about that too. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just not aware of some.
Valerie, I have been discussing that with Scott once in a while throughout the weeks here.
Okay.
Well, maybe, yeah. Anyway, we can follow up on this maybe in person on Thursday or something, but I do think it might be germane to try and have a couple of conversations about LERTA, but maybe about other things that could add to quality of life around here. And aside from that, if I'm not hearing anything further, we can go ahead and adjourn. Anybody else have anything else to introduce? Hearing nothing, I think we can, we'll take off. It was nice to see everyone virtually. I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.